Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's great to be with you again today. So, what I wanted to do was just to come with you and talk a little bit more about leadership. Okay, so um, as I say, I've got an upcoming 2 day summit in November, which registrations will open soon with a very special early bird offering. But I wanted to just give you content and tell you my thoughts on leadership, and hopefully it will stimulate your thought processes that. Um, maybe it would just help you in your own work, in your own development, or if you're an existing leader with the teams that you're currently leading. So the 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 topics are all about leadership. Okay, so what is leadership? And I'm going to be talking about influence, leading by example, building engaged teams, communication, developing talent, my three-stage process of purpose, vision, and strategy. Um, what is employee excellence and why is that important? Why is it important to deliver exceptional customer service, and what exactly does that mean? Hey, Steve, morning, brother. Um, and then, another big one that I'll get to in the coming days is performance reviews and one-on-one sessions, um, maybe how to hold effective team meetings and active listening. Morning, Barbara. How are you? So today, I really want to talk about what is a leader and what should a leader be doing. Okay, now we are all leaders, and I am a firm believer that we should lead by example. Right, my shirt I've got on today is my Walter and Mickey. You can't quite see it, but the tagline below is "It all started with a mouse." Right, and the idea of that is that we all start somewhere. Okay, and we all start small. So whether you are looking to get into leadership or whether you are a leader, you may be an experienced leader, but you still need to keep learning. And one of the things that I sincerely believe in 100% is that people do what people see. Okay, people do what people see. So therefore they model and they imitate what their leader does. So think about that. So have you ever heard somebody say, "Do as I say, not as I do"? Okay, I know I have. Right? Do you respect somebody when they say that or when they do that? No. There's another famous saying or maybe not so famous. I'm not sure, but um, certainly again it's a UK one, and maybe use it over in the States here as well. But I would say that. People that if you can do it, you do it. If you can't, you teach it. And that would be something that that I would see quite often, is that the teachers and the trainers are the ones that couldn't quite make it in doing what they're doing, so we put them in training. That's backwards. All right, how can you teach somebody to do something and lead somebody if you haven't done it yourself? Right, that's another reason why I'm a believer that you should start at the bottom and work your way up. Or at least if you come into an organization, you should take time to learn the other roles and take time and shadow the people that are reporting to you, so that they know that you know what you're talking about. Now, in John's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, he talks about the law of modeling. Now, John's talking about it from the point of view of you modeling somebody else, right? So you're looking to grow yourself. But I want to look at it as well and say that as a leader, you need to be living the law of modeling in the way that your direct reports, or maybe not even direct reports, just other people that you're influencing, look up to you. They look up to you and they want to emulate you. Right, now, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right? So if somebody is imitating what you're doing, in other words, copying and modeling what you're doing, then it means you're doing the right thing. The John says that right at the start of this book, the most important personal growth phase you will ever hear a good leader say to you is "follow me." Right? So as a good leader, are you saying that to your team? All right? Or if you're not a leader yet, you're wanting to be a leader, is your leader saying, follow me? People often ask me what's the difference between a leader and a manager, and is it the same thing? No, it's, well, you can be a leader and a manager, all right? But a manager is not necessarily a good leader. A leader will pull people forward, a manager will push people. Right? So a leader will say, follow me, guys. A manager will go, there you go, get on with it. To me, the simplest definition difference between a leader and a manager is a leader manages people, a manager manages processes. Two completely different things. Now, you can be a great leader and then go into management and manage processes, but you still still leading people. That's true. You can do that. But a good manager could be great at managing processes, but could be terrible at leading people. So just be aware of that. Now, again, in this chapter, John talks about mentors, right? And I'm going to change the word mentor to leader. And a good leader is a worthy example. And this is what we're saying. In other words, you should walk the walk and talk the talk. Right? I would never ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't be prepared to do. A good leader should also be available. All right, so how many of you heard somebody say, oh yeah, I've got an open door policy, and they say that, but in reality, when you go to speak to them, they go, oh, not now, I'm busy. Okay, well then you haven't got an open door policy. Okay, I would always have my door open unless I was on a meeting. Obviously, if I'm on a meeting, I can't have people coming in and interrupting me. But if I'm not in a meeting, my door was always open. And if people came to ask me a question or make a comment, I would stop what I was doing. I would listen. And then what I'm doing is I'm evaluating and prioritizing how urgent is that request that they're asking compared to what it is I'm doing. And sometimes it would take the priority and I'd need to deal with it there and then and stop what I was doing. Other times I could say, that's a great question and let me just think about that. Or when have you got a little bit more time so that we can sit down and discuss it in more detail? So a good leader is available to their people, not only their direct reports, but again, let's think about leader. A lot of people say, well, that's my team and that's my team. That other team is not my team. Rubbish. Everybody, you should be responsible to everybody. Because as a leader, you are an influencer. And an influencer is for everybody. And Steve, yes, you're right. Leadership is about other people. Absolutely, 100%. It's not about us. Right, those of us that are listening, I know Stephen and Barbara are both coaches as well. We do what we do because we want to help other people. It's not about me. If I can share my knowledge and share my experience and help you to grow and develop, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm offering these free Facebook Lives. That's why on Thursday this week I'm doing my free teaching call on choices, decisions, and living with the consequences. It's a great topic. So if you want to get that, I'll pop a link in there afterwards. I'm also opening up. It starts next month, but my membership academy, and this membership academy is something that is designed for everybody. Okay, so it's designed for people that they may be leaders, they may be aspiring leaders, they may not have even thought about leadership, but they're just wanting to grow and develop. I'm doing it at a very low cost, and the reason for that is I just want to give that service. I have to charge something for my time, but it's more than I want to give back to you. All right, so the link is at the top of this chat. If you want to have more details on that, you can look at it or message me. I'm happy to talk about it. So Andrew Carnegie said that as I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do. Right, so again, that's a quote from probably maybe 80, 90, 100 years ago. Right, it's still relevant today. People do what people see. Okay, so again, I heard someone say to me before, they've got like a a forked tongue, right? I didn't quite understand what they meant, and when I asked them further about it, what they were saying is, well, they'll say one thing and they'll do another thing, right? Or they'll say one thing to one person and one thing to another person. Well, let me tell you, as a leader, or as anybody, right? Let's call it an influencer, because we're all influencers. But but especially as a leader, that comes across to people. And what do you do when you're doing that? You lose credibility, you lose trust. And when you lose credibility and you lose trust, you're dead in the water. Now go back to what I was saying earlier, where a leader should be prepared to do the things that they're asking their followers to do. A good leader has to have proven experience. Okay, so when you are, let's say you're looking for a coach as well at the moment, right? If you're looking for a coach who's never coached anybody, or you're looking for a coach on leadership and development and they've never been a leader, probably not the best person to go with. But as a leader, people, and again, this is another subject we'll talk about another time, but the 5 levels of leadership: you get positional leader, and then you get permission leader, and then you get I think it's production leader. So as you going on, people want to follow you, not they just have to follow you because you've been given leader as a title. So a good leader has that proven experience. And one of the things I want to encourage you all to do is avoid these armchair experts or the armchair quarterbacks, the ones that will tell you what to do, but they've never done it themselves. Avoid that. All right. The Chinese proverb says, to know the road ahead, ask those coming back. And that's important. If you've been there and done it, or you're doing it now, you are in the right position to be able to offer advice. And they would be the people that I would listen to the advice. People that I listen to now, my mentors, my coaches, my inner circle, which they're on the line listening now and watching now. I listen to them, I pay attention to them because they've been there and they've done it. Right, that brings me on to point 4: is a good leader possesses wisdom. Again, I'm not going to listen to somebody if I don't believe in them. Number 5 is a good leader provides friendship and support. And this saying always comes clear to me, right? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Never, never, never underestimate the value of care. At Disney, we would talk a lot about creating a culture of care. Did everybody lead it? No, sadly not. But that culture of care is very, very important. The more you care for somebody and the more you show you care for them, the more they will work with you. And I'll call it with you rather than for you, right? Because you want to be, as again, pulling people forward with you. It's not about you telling them what to do and them just getting on and doing it. And then a good leader should make a difference in people's lives. As Steve said earlier, being a leader is not about you, it's about the other people. So as a leader, let me ask you this: how do you measure your success? Well, it's simple. Your success is measured by the performance of your team. So if your team is not performing, if they're not following you, if they don't respect you, if they don't listen to you, then you're not a good leader. Your results are not going to be good. But if you work with your team, if you make a difference in their lives, if you empower them and encourage them to grow and develop, then guess what? Your results are going to be fantastic. So spend time with your team, work with them, help them to be the best versions of themselves and to achieve what they should be achieving. It comes down to some of the other things we're talking in later in this series, but about employee excellence and building engaged teams, delivering exceptional customer service. It all comes into it. And then just in closing, I want to share an acronym that John uses for the word coach. Now, this description applies equally to a leader, because again, I think a leader is a coach. So the C stands for care for people. All right, so it says care for people they coach. I think it cares for people that they lead. I think it cares for people in general. The O stands for observe, and that's observe their attitudes, their behavior, and their performance. Again, if you're not watching what your people are doing, how can you comment on it? How can you bring them forward? How can you coach them and lead them if you don't know what they're doing? The A is a big one for me. Align people with their strengths for peak performance. And again, we talk about that. I talk about that later in this and in the 2-day summit. Putting people in their strength zone. It sounds like a simple concept, and it really is. But if you think about it, how much of your day do you spend in your strength zone when you're working? Probably not very much, right? If you're honest about it. And when you look, if you're a leader now and you look at your team, do you know the strengths of your team? Are you putting your team in positions that they're strong in? Or are you just putting them in a position that they applied for? Now, I was talking to someone yesterday and is general manager of a vacation resort. And you could have somebody that applies for a front desk role, but actually they're an amazing performer. They're amazing with kids. They're a great singer. Should you have them in the front desk role, or should you look at moving them to entertainment and maybe running the kids club? I think the answer is obvious, but how many of us do that? The second C stands for communicate and give feedback about their performance. And this again is another thing that I'll talk about later in this series. Excuse me, but this is about, so in one-on-ones and performance reviews, how much time when you're talking to someone, how much time do you talking about their strengths compared to how much time you spend talking about things they could improve? Normally it's about 10%, maybe 15% on their strengths and 85 to 90% on things that they should be working on to improve. It's the wrong way around, folks. You should be looking at helping people understand their strengths, encouraging for them for what they're doing, and that will help them get even better. Okay, if you're not good at something, put them in a role, also if they're not good at something, put them in a role where they don't need to do that. That's about building a well-rounded team. And then the H at the end of coach is help them to improve their lives and performance. So yes, you want to help them improve their performance at work. But as a great leader, you should be looking at helping them improve their life in general. Okay, if you've been following me for a period of time now, you know that I want to help everybody to live a life of freedom. And freedom doesn't mean money. Freedom means being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and how you want. It's having that freedom to choose what you want to do more of what you love every day, and basically eliminate the things that you don't love doing. Now at work, you can't just like eliminate tasks, but that's where you have people in their strength zones that say, okay, I don't like doing this, but you're really good at this. So guess what? You can do this as your role. Okay, when you do that, what happens is that employee, that team member becomes fulfilled. They're satisfied. They're happy because they're doing something that they want to do and something that they like to do. And the tasks that they didn't like to do and not good at, somebody else is doing it, and that other person is good at doing that and enjoys doing that. That's how you build. That's how you lead. So think about it in your own life, whether it's your personal life, your professional life. If you are a leader or if you are wanting to be a leader. Even if you don't want to be a leader, think about it in how you are and how you are led at the moment, and how can that life improve. So I hope you enjoyed this sort of let's call it a lesson on leadership. That's what my 2-day summit is going to be called. As I say, if you want to join my membership site, the membership site is going to be 2, maybe 3 calls per month, live calls where I'll do some teaching and then we do Q&As. The idea is that everybody comes together, everybody joins in conversations, and that we help grow and develop everybody on the calls. I don't want masses of people in the community. I just want people who want to learn and want to grow and want to develop. So if that's you, so it's $27 a month for 6 months, or you can pay up front for $135 and effectively you get a month free. Told you it's not a lot of money. It's because I want to give back and I want to add value to you guys. So the link is at the start of that. If you're interested in my 2-day summit, it's November 15th, 16th. Watch out, the registration will be opening up soon with a very special early bird offer. And again, the same thing. I'm not making it expensive. Why? There's only going to be 30 people maximum there, right? Maybe less. But I want people that want to grow and learn and develop with me, help me to develop, and I want to help them to develop. It's all about creating a community that wants to grow together. And remember, it all started with a mouse for Walt Disney. And look at where they are now. So thanks for listening. Pop your comments in the box. If you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay, and I'm more than happy to come back and answer the questions as you come in, or reply to your comments. Shoot me a message if you've got a specific question you want to ask me rather than put it in there. More than happy. So thanks for watching. Have a great Monday, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.